everyone. Good morning or good afternoon. My name is Viktoriia Abed. I'm Chief Revenue Officer at Pitch Avatar. I'm very happy that finally we were able to launch this webinar, as the topic is really hot, really new, and we were preparing it for a long time. So I would like to check out whether you are willing for communication, and just let me know in chat where you're from and where you're joining us from. Just maybe your city and country. Please let me know, just for me to understand that you're willing for conversation, for collaboration, and to ask your questions. Hungary, Ukraine, and Czech Republic. Hi. Greece, London. Mexico, wow. Buenos dias. Mexico, Romania. Poland, Czech Republic, Serbia, Cyprus. Amazing. Lithuania, Ecuador. Buenos dias también. Connecticut, USA. So yeah, I'm very grateful. I'm very happy to see you today. And I see that you are willing for cooperation. So let's start. And let me start a little bit with some introduction that what Pitch Avatar is doing, and why we are talking about AI agents today. So we are AI-based platform that was crafted to deliver your content in the most effective way, including with your AI twins, AI avatars, and it allows you to run different scenarios with avatar. And just a little bit more technical information that during the session, I encourage you to ask questions, and I will make some pauses in our conversation with today's guest and ask your questions directly. And we will have recording. We're running recording of today's session, so you will get a replay shortly. I guess it will be tomorrow morning by European time, so no worries. If you're missing something, you will be able to replay that. But I'm encouraging all you to stay till the end, because at the end we have prepared for you some bonuses, and of course today we are willing to share with you a lot of interesting information. Before we start, as you know, today we are going to talk about AI agents. I would like to learn a little bit more about your experience with AI agents. So I'd like to run a short poll with you. So what is your experience with AI agents? The first answer is, I don't know anything about them. So the second is, I have heard a little bit, but never used. The third is, I've tried just once. This fourth, I've used a few times and I use them regularly, is the last option. So let's see how professional in AI agents you are. So we are waiting just a few seconds more. And as we get as a result, 45% among attendees heard about AI agents, but never used. So today, I guess, will be a lot of new information. And 18% tried just once, 14% I've tried just few times, and 18% as well use them regularly. So wow, a lot of professionals. So thank you for sharing your experience. And I guess it's the time for me to introduce our guest. Our guest today is Vlad Voskresensky. He has been shaping product vision and steering the company's technology strategy for over a decade, and has more than 20 years of experience in integrating enterprise CRM systems with personal environments. I used to work with top 100 Fortune companies, and supports the idea that AI won't replace a human being, but can serve as a good co-pilot. So Vlad, Great to meet you. Hi, how are you doing
Thank
today?
you, thank you, thank you, Viktoriia, and it's a pleasure to be with you guys. Thanks much for such a warm introduction. Some things are, well, it's actually very nice to hear someone talking about you, and it's very pleasant. Some things I actually would even argue a little bit. I'm not a big fan of a co-pilot. I'm actually a big fan of an autopilot. It goes through the co-piloting to autopiloting, but we can chat about that later today. But yeah, pleasure to be with you guys. Open for the discussion, and you were asking where are we joining from? I am joining as we speak from New York City, not because I'm based out of here, but because yesterday there was a very good event by Salesforce, which is called Agent Force. And again, very great movement in the industry. So just yesterday, there was a big event in the city where such a big vendor like Salesforce is pioneering, pushing hard us. By us, I mean the world, to take a closer look at AI-driven agents and what they can do. So yeah, all things aligned, and that's the hot topic for sure.
Yeah. So perfect. Actually, yeah, Salesforce was like among the first who announced that announced the AI agents as their ideology and their direction this autumn, actually. So it's pretty new. And before we start our conversation, let's stick to the definition. What is are AI agents for you, and what kind of technology we are going to discuss today?
So here's one disruptive thing I'd like to say right here. I actually don't like the name of agent. Okay. And I know that everybody are using this. I know why. We all know why. It's a very descriptive, very clear name. Though to me, agent sounds like something which will take the work from people and steal the jobs from people. I believe it's not the case. I believe those AI agents would be better called AI assistants, because I do believe that, yes, those instances, those entities, let's call them AI agents, they can do the job, but they would not take the jobs out of people, if you understand what I mean. So they would do for your actual work, small parts of routinely repeatable jobs. But I doubt that they are designed, intended to completely substitute human being in its profession, if you would, in its jobs and its duties. So big helper, to me, AI agent, it's like a junior employee of you or your company, your personal assistant, which is human-like, meaning that it understands and may behave like a human, can conversate with you, can understand what you mean, can react on what you want to get. Second, it understands the context. So that virtual assistant would work for you one way, for me the other way, understanding who we are and looking at the specifics of our work, of the data about us and around us. And third, it's educatable instance. It's educatable something agent, for example. So when we do something, it learns. And if it goes like this, then we may believe that junior employees, AI agents, would become an employees and then senior employees and then help us more and more and more. And the sky is only the limit.
Yeah, and why do you think there is so much buzz around AI agents? Is it the technology of the future, or just, I don't know, the like temporary technology that will be like forgotten next year?
Well, I think it's not a technology of the future. It's a technology of today, for sure. The revolution is already started, and who is not part of it will be you're risking to be late for that. So no, it's a technology of today. And why there is so many buzz around that, I've heard from someone that thought, so let me steal it because I really like it. The thought is that when internet was invented, internet made possible for people to work without being close to each other. You can get the things done without being close to your employees. Fair enough. Some companies are jumped on it and then they were prepped for COVID before COVID. They were distributed companies. They would have everything in the cloud and they could work without offices, without physical presence. They were just ahead of the others. Now, with AI industry and with AI agents, the work can be done without people, period. Not without people being next to each other, but just without people. Not everything, but some parts of the work could be done without people. And that's very promising. That's very appealing for businesses to jump on it. And that's why there is so much buzz around that, because every company right now is trying to understand how exactly we're applying AI to our processes. Not if we should, but how exactly we're doing that to keep it productive.
Yeah, it means like at the beginning of AI buzz with ChatGPT, everyone was thinking about how to apply ChatGPT in the working processes, and now it's about AI agents, right?
Well, we all played with ChatGPT, asking some dumb questions. What do you know about me? This and this and that. But then I see so many people which right now understood how to really work with ChatGPT. So they are using ChatGPT instead of Google search. They're using ChatGPT to do actual tasks. For example, I have 10-page document and I need 1-page document. I just upload it, ChatGPT get it. So these are the examples of a personal use. But obviously, it hints us how big the impact may be if you really tie the generative AI, not necessarily ChatGPT, there are so many models and so many providers, but if you tie the generative AI to your workflows and processes, how big the gain could be. And yeah, we all played with this like with the toy. Then we started to use this as a tool and finally it's going to be a product. So that's what we're witnessing, and things are evolving really, really fast. Just think where we were with this a year ago and where we are these days.
Yeah. So let's talk about maybe future of your vision, or maybe Salesforce already have shared with you some secrets. So for which industries AI agents look the most promising? Like what industries are the AI agents are the most applicable for?
Very good question. And I think when we are talking about AI, it's important, I would say, to stay sober, to don't be like over enthusiastic or just dream without the connection to reality. Um, we all understand that underneath AI, there's no magic, there's a technology. And technology can do something, but cannot do something else. So that's one aspect of it. Second aspect of AI, when technology takes some small parts of work from people, people should be able to trust to those virtual workers that the work would be done as good as they would do it, right?
Yeah.
And that defines my response to what industries may be the first in line. I have always played that example. Say Tesla has this feature of self-driving, right? And some people are enabling this at Teslas. But I may trust my Tesla to self-park, and I can summon my car and it would repark and unpark and drive to me. I can trust Tesla in this action, but I doubtfully will trust Tesla yet to drive a car with my family and kids on a highway on a high speed, just because the stakes are different, right? Very similar here. Because of the nature of work and the nature of tasks which people are doing and the AI can help with, I think that the low-hanging fruits obviously is routinely repeatable tasks. So processing a lot of the data, coming up with conclusions, coming up with summaries. This is what generative AI was designed for, and it could do it the best. Evolving tasks which are demanding a lot of knowledge and simple and quick answer when the answer is the most needed. For example, technical support or field services. When I have a problem and I'm calling and I'm waiting on the line and I'm hearing that your call is very important for you, we're going to be in touch with you in 20 minutes. AI can help. AI can give me precise answer, maybe not the best one, and I would still need to talk to the agent. But in those use cases, people would trust to AI, vendors would trust to AI because it can really help. When it comes to medical surgeries, for example, I think AI would be like that industry would be one of the very last for AI to take part in because of legacy regulations, because of trust and everything. So short answer to your question, I think we should evaluate industries which would be affected the most based on how trustful people can be to AI and what are the legacy regulations and compliances are around the technology or in this or that particular industry.
Yeah. So, but let us jump to sales and revenue question, because today we just promised to talk about that. So, what work for AI agents do you see for B2B sales for today?
Yes. So, well, thank you for this. And you know that Revenue Grid, the company I'm being co-founder with, we are a revenue action platform. So for 20 years, we would do sales automation, and obviously this is our passion. And today we are AI-driven platform for AI assistance. That's how we define ourselves. So the question is right in spot. And yeah, there is the whole variety of use cases which I believe AI can do in sales, which goes, I believe, pretty much through the whole pipeline from lead gen to renewals if you're in a subscription business, like literally through the whole pipeline. And I would even step back and talk a little bit about existence of CRM and how AI agents are coexisting or maybe substituting CRM or maybe disrupting CRM. So happy to talk about that. And if you don't mind, I would even share some slides and walk you through the story we believe in, if that would be helpful.
Yeah, sure. I guess seeing like is more applicable like in our
Okay.
imagination.
Let's do that. I know people typically hate slides, so I promise not a lot of them, but I think some visuals would be helpful. Yeah, let me share my screen and let me know when you can see that. Here we go.
Yeah, we can see.
Lovely. I'll jump to that one. So what we are saying is the age of CRM as we know it is gone. There is no more CRM like we know it. And here's what we mean by that. The CRM as we know, it's a system of records. It was designed to be able to collect the data, and people then have to enter that data into CRM one way or the other, and then process this data and show it to the management through the reports. So it's always this mirror-like view, like you're in the car looking in the mirror of a rear view to understand what was in the past. The problem with that DNA is that CRM in its initial design doesn't help people to sell. And that's exactly where AI agents may help, may revolutionize the things. Convert CRM from being system of records to something which is system of an action, or maybe substitute CRM, or maybe put CRM on the backend, use CRM as a database, but become that system of record, system of actions on top of system of records. And that should be very powerful, meaning that it should be focused on when people are needed and what they're trying to do. Sales reps needs to get their quotas achieved. Managers need to control situation. They need to understand that their forecasts are real and they would be achieving those forecasts. The tool should be super simple because no one likes redesigning workflows, re-educating people, going through onboardings. So that should be something which is as simple as you already have tools and processes. Get to that, understand that, work with this.
Yeah.
And yeah,
Just
overall,
sorry for interrupting you.
Uh-huh.
You mean just not like zero CRM, but zero input CRM, right? So I just given data and it is like enriching on
I
the
actually really mean zero CRM, but not in the sense that CRM should not exist. When I say zero CRM, treat this as a database which should be on the back end. For example, I bet Amazon has a database, but we do not query that database directly. We have a very nice UI. We go and shop on Amazon, and Amazon talks to us based on what we want to buy. It knows our preferences, knows our history, knows our intent, so it communicates with us much better than the database. Current CRM, mainly, that's a freaking database of records. We force people to enter data. That's why you say no zero entry, no data entry. When people are entering data, there are two problems right here. They may pervert the data. We're on the call with you. I'm putting the call report and I'm representing this in the way I want, but not in the way it really was. Second, I may just keep entering the data. So the problem is that even though CRM relies so much on the data is not always accurate and not always full. So that's a database, one way or the other. It's on the back end. And then what we really want from any sales tool is help me to close more business. Tell me what I should be focused on today, what lead I should process first, what should I tell to this customer or prospect, what should I fulfill from my promises in the past, etc. CRM doesn't have that by DNA. CRM is a reporting tool where I can see pipeline, tasks, leads, opportunities. Again, it's a database. And from that standpoint, people were not born to interact with CRM UI like that. That's why it should be zero CRM. It should be on the back end. It's a database. It should exist somewhere. Nobody should even take care about how it exists and what it does. But like engine in your car, back then, by the way, when you try to drive the car, you would need to know how to serve the engine because anything can happen. Today, you don't mind. Is this gas or electric or hybrid? You know that you will be driving a car. So that when I say zero CRM, it's like zero wariness CRM, zero invisible, if you would, to some degree.
Got it.
Yeah. So overall story is that I truly believe that AI agents, AI, we call them assistants. We truly believe it's a better name. AI assistants are wrapping around this current CRM experience, focusing on particular jobs. And they're trying to fulfill those jobs. And here, since you were talking about data entry, it's actually very cool because my next slide is slightly about that. one of the problems CRM was fighting for the last 20 years, and not all CRM even have a nice response to that, it's automated data capture. We all struggle from need of manual input. That's why CRM are trying to implement that. Vendors exist who are automating that. But here's the thing. If you think about data capture, automated or semi-manual, even manual data capture to CRM, by itself, it has zero value because we need the data to know. And if I'm a manager and you are my sales rep, and I don't know what's going on with opportunity because you didn't enter the data, I have to call you. If there's an activity capture and suddenly all of your emails or phone calls or events with this prospect is in CRM, to be able to understand what's really going on, I have to reread this all, which I'm not going to be doing. I'm going to call you again and ask you, okay, so tell me what's going on with this opportunity. So even if auto capture of CRM is in place, it's not enough to solve the problem of knowing. That's why, thanks to modern technology and thanks to AI, there is this layer which many vendors are introduced already on the market, and we are not the only one who are doing that, but extracting facts and knowledge out of the activities which are captured to CRM, it's a crucial part. And by the way, for those who are on webinar right now, and you guys are having your own CRM, and hopefully you think it's automated in the sense of data capture and you have the data in CRM, think twice if you are getting knowledge out of the data. Think twice if you can, instead of running the report and trying to understand, you can look at the object, look at the report, and really understand what's going on so you can make the decision. Okay, that's the layer which always missing. Then we were witnessing the development or forming of the whole industry of revenue intelligence, and there are many vendors which are doing that, which is cool. Revenue intelligence is actually crunching the data which is in CRM and beyond to come up with insights. Oh, it may be not good with what you have in this opportunity. You may take a look at this lead because it needs some attention. You may do this, you may do that. The problem with the revenue intelligence in this pyramid is that revenue intelligence is only advising tool, not actual tool which is doing actual job. So the sales assistants or sales agents, they're often AI driven, are on top of it. Instead of just advising you that you better pay attention to this opportunity, they can actually do something. For example, move this opportunity to the next stage or to the next quarter if it's in the bad shape, or maybe follow up automatically, or maybe do some things which are really automated jobs. So this pyramid of sales automation starts with CRM as a database and evolves to that level of AI assistance needs to do the actual jobs for salespeople. And then the next slide, and I'm probably going to pause after that. It may be overcomplicated. It looks hard to understand, but the main takeaway, if you take a look at the slide, look at the challenges on the left and potential outcomes on the right. These are the examples of what AI agents can do for you. For example, eliminate manual data entry. Yeah, the tool which will auto-capture the data, enter the data in CRM, get the census, facts, knowledge out of that, and put this as a summary. That's the AI agent which can help to solve that problem. Unreliable forecast. Better forecasting, look at the pipeline, understand what's really going on, cleans the pipeline from all of the BS which is in there, and then revalidate other opportunities which probably not BS, but they're not going to be closed in the promised periods, things like this. That's another use case. Lead qual, lead gen, making sure that sales meetings are productive. So they're well prepped, well conducted, and then evaluated in the sense of how it helped us to move the deal through the pipeline. And that list may be continued, but these are the examples of those AI agents or duties of those AI agents, which they could do, and they can unload people, actual sales reps and sales manager from those manual tasks. So then we people do most important intelligent work. These are the 3 slides I wanted to share, and then we can switch back from slides to interactive conversation.
Yeah, I just wanted to talk to you about just revenue prediction. So we were speaking about AI agents for salesperson, but revenue prediction is like not about only sales, like not only about sales acquisition or something like that. So what AI agents can do in terms of other tasks in revenue prediction or in revenue generation?
So think about this. How sales leader will conduct pipeline meeting, typical forecast meeting or pipeline meeting. Unfortunately, and it's really shame on all of the technology providers and all of the CRM vendors and all of the sales automation tools. Unfortunately, this is a very manual task, which sales leader has to do every week or bi-weekly. It's manual because we gather together again and again and again. And we always start that meeting from discovery part. I would say interrogation part. Looking at the report from CRM, seeing the opportunities in my forecast, I'm going to dig into every single one and ask responsible sales rep, tell me exactly what's going on. What are the updates? What's going on? Have you been talking with them? What did they say? And then after I did the discovery, which I'm actually calling interrogation, only then we switch to the powerful part of pipeline or forecasting meeting, which is coaching. And what do we do with this? How do we move forward? So AI agent, which helps with the pipeline prediction or with forecasting, can eliminate that first step for sure. There is no need to discover because you may get the knowledge before the meeting. Think about the agent, which does simple but very powerful things. Because it sees your pipeline, because it sees all of the conversations which your sales reps are having or maybe not having, because it knows your specifics. How? Because it sees your pipeline not only today, but also past pipeline. It sees what was back then in your pipeline, what was won, what was lost, what were the interactions around those opportunities, what products are you selling, what discounts are you typically applying. So it can educate out of your past. Then we look at the current pipeline, we look at all of the interactions, and then three simple questions we may ask, which are straightforward. One, do we believe that the deal is even real? Or maybe there is no engagement, we should close, forget about this, and cleanse our pipeline just based out of it. Very simple question, cleanses big chunk of pipeline of every company. I can bet my own money on this. The second question would be, do we trust that this opportunity would be closed in a date which is predicted and with the amount which is predicted by sales rep? I'm a sales rep. I've entered the opportunity. I'm saying it's going to be closed by end of December until New Year for $1 million. But then the AI says like, look, yeah, but it's only what, 5 weeks left and you're on that stage. Typically it takes us 9 weeks to close from that stage of size of opportunity of that size. So we doubt you're going to close it by end of December, maybe by end of January. And by the way, you've sent 4 emails, got 0 responses. So engagement is not there. Or maybe more intelligence. Yeah, you've sent a few emails. There was call recording. On that call, by the way, the counterpart told you that you need to go through InfoSec approval, and InfoSec people are on vacation. They're going to be back mid-December. No way you're going to close it because of this. So AI can see that from conversations and can challenge the close date, can challenge the amount, because typically you provide discounts and you did not provide it yet. So you will, we know, and clean up all of the BS. These are the very simple things which are super powerful, because if you have that in place, then you re-engineer your pipeline meetings. You start from discussing like, oh, so what do we do? What do we do to change the situation instead of let me discover the situation? Does it make sense?
Yeah, it would be great if AI could tell me what to do. What is the best way?
That's the next step. That's the next step. And there are so many companies are trying to be super smart at that, but you understand how harder is that. Like cleans up the data and highlight you things and delete and remove and clean and tell you what to do. So yeah, that's the next stage.
Yeah, we're waiting for that. And I just encourage you to ask your questions. And meanwhile, I've got one. So if we ask, let's talk about zero CRM. So it sounds really fascinating, but let's talk about credibility. You have already mentioned about that. So what about credibility of the AI work? So let's acknowledge that sometimes it still could hallucinate in answers and decision. And how much can we trust AI in communicating with prospects, defining the stages, the appropriate stages, suggesting follow-up steps, and so on? What do you think about it?
So I think we should change our mind to be able to get that and relax on one sense and start thinking the other way. Let me throw in you one example, and I'll get back to the answer to the question. At some point, I was on that course which would teach people how to fast read the text. And one of the first lessons they told us is that we should forget how we started to learn how to read back in school, when we knew the letter, and then letter by letter, we read the words. And one of the example was they would give us a text where words are with mixed letters, but once you look at that paragraph, you still get the sense of it.
Yes.
And they will tell us like, look, see, your mind is able to get the sense out of the paragraph, even if letters are not in the right order. So stop reading by letters, start reading by words, and then by sentences, and maybe by the paragraph. That was the change, or like coming back to the roots and redesigning the way we think. Very similar situation here. Unfortunately, the DNA of CRM, how it was designed, and it was designed as a controlling system for sales reps, not a helping system, but controlling system for sales reps. And the relational essence of it perverted our habits. Now we know that the way we work with CRM is very relational. We go and run dashboard, we go and run report. By those custom fields, I can filter out this and this and this. And oh, what if people are not filling it out? We make it condition of employment. How could you, sales rep, close the opportunity, but did not reflect my custom field in my CRM? So yeah, you brought me revenue, you're a hero, but as a RevOps, I'm running the report and I'm not seeing that opportunity attributed to the right lead source, and I'm in the trouble, and that's a problem. It's not. The revenue is here. So what I'm trying to say is that AI is not like that, and we have to learn, well, we have to understand that AI from that sense is like human being. Can human being hallucinate? Yes, we're
I
all
guess,
people. We
yes.
can be wrong, right? We can be wrong. We can be not necessarily hallucinate. So one of the motto we have inside of a company, we always say models are not hallucinating, people are hallucinating. We may either wrong prompt or get the right data out of it or do not work with the models correctly, but models are not hallucinating more than people, and people could be wrong, LLM could be wrong. But if you let this mindset of I work with the database, which is relational, if you let it go and you are accepting the thought that I work with unstructured data, and then you let that mindset go, then you are not so afraid of AI telling you maybe not the full truth or maybe some things which are not completely right, because just like people could do that, AI could do this as well. And yes, now in the beginning of a process, maybe AI is not so good as your best sales rep, but I bet AI is already better than your LDR or SDR, or maybe a junior RevOps. AI is already better. It's getting better, 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 and then it will be comparable quality. But yeah, the problem of trust to me is that we should stop worrying about data being unstructured and some things which could be mixed. That's okay. People could do this as well.
Yeah, I totally agree with you because people are very much driven by our own biases. Yeah, and that could be as well could lead to a wrong
Exactly,
decision
exactly.
making. Yeah.
And you know what? Like the very real use case when we talk about one of our client, theoretical discussion, but very practical meeting. So what if the conversations between sales rep and the prospects are multi-channel, meaning that I can be on the phone with you, then I can send few follow-ups in email and answer some of the questions. You can text me back in text messages with secondary questions, and then I can probably answer to you in WhatsApp or something like this. It's all one conversation logically for you and me, but for the technologies like so many touches and so many channels of communications,
Engagement.
and we
Yeah.
all need to make one sense out of it. Can people do this? Yes. Can they pervert the picture? Can I tell you as my boss after that, I had a great conversation, they're going to buy? Yes. Is this hallucination or wishful thinking? Who knows? We'll see this in the end of a quarter. Can AI do this? If you let AI see all the data, you don't need to put it in the right order, in the right cell of your table or your database. It would get it all and give you a nice summary and maybe make right conclusions. Can it hallucinate and say, you're not going to close it this quarter and then you're lucky or good one and you've closed it this quarter? That may happen. But still, though.
Yeah. And let us shift to the question of the future of the workforce. So, as you mentioned before, that you are a supporter of the idea that AI won't replace a human being, but now with the appearance of AI agents, they can make more and more complicated tasks. And even when I attended Dreamforce in September, and they showed me how great business analytics AI agent can do. And I even didn't imagine that just a junior business analyst could do such a good business analysis. So now I guess the paradigm is shifting, and we are not calculating that, okay, I'm better not I'm better replace this sales manager to AI agent, but I'm thinking that way. Uh, I have a budget for 4 sales managers, but I
Hmm?
better spend my budget for 3 sales manager and hire and pay for one AI agent that will help them work, making their job more effectively. So do you still
Yeah.
think that AI agent actually it is replacing, it is still in a job of one sales manager that I decided not to hire? So what do you think about it?
Um, I think that it has a lot of sense, and technology is always replacing some simple jobs and then maybe more harder jobs. And there is always, through the history of humanity, if you would, there is always this discussion that, oh, what people would do if technology would take that job out of them. When cars were invented, the discussion was what are all of those guys who are serving the horse-based industry would do and everything. But then it appeared that instead of like feeding horses, they converted to be a repair shop for cars. So my answer to that is innovation is unstoppable. And what innovation does for people is it helps them to elevate the complexity of the tasks people are solving. So back to your example, when you said, say, I have a budget for 4 sales managers, and what do I do? Uh, my answer is that not only you will hire 3, and then probably you'll put some money into the AI agent, but you will change your requirements to those 3 and hire maybe some different people by the profile, because AI enables people to make decisions. And if you think about what we're doing right now, we are spending a lot, 80, maybe 90% of our time on routinely repeatable mechanical tasks. And then once we have all the picture, or we think we have all the picture, we try to make a decision and then put it to work. Imagine that instead of 10% of the time of making the decisions, you have 50% of your time to make the very reliable, smart decisions because you know the data. So AI can help you with that. Now, your sales rep in your example should be able to analytically think and digest all of the inputs which AI tells and make much smarter decision than sales rep of the past would do, because sales rep of the past is good if he is very attentive to the details, does not skip a beat, very routine oriented, very accurate. That's a good sales rep because the rest would come. But the sales rep of tomorrow would be more, again, creative, like human beings should be, innovative, find the unstandard approach and everything based on what AI preps. So will AI take jobs of people? Yes. Will AI take paycheck of people? No, because those people supposed to make or do smarter things, and their value should be sitting on top of what AI does, one way or the other.
Yeah. So just an example, going ahead with an example. So for my outreach team, I got a tool for that gives them a social signals, and that really means that in the morning they should not like making a routine task, checking who opened their messages and so on. So they have everything on their dashboard, and they have a dashboard of social signals that this person has changed his job, or this person has posted that, or something has changed. So yeah, really they need to make smarter job, like according to the social signals they need to create some crafted personalized messages and just to achieve the goal. But really this is what released them from routine task in the old way, in the old manner.
That's a perfect example, but there are even more lower hanging fruits. Let me give you that example. Yesterday, we had a dinner with the representatives of one of the largest US banks, like literally, they're one of the top 3. And they would explain the use case, how the private bankers would work. So what they technically do, they are often on a call with their clients, trying to understand what's going on in the life of their clients, so then they can sell their services. If the client sold its business or maybe bought the house or I mean, whatever is going on. And what they have to do right now, they have to be very accurate with the call report because every detail may matter. The fact that the client has a kid, which is a couple of years after will be up to high school, or he says today that if he sells his business, he would be willing to buy a boat. I mean, things like this, private bankers. They're required by the bank, private bankers, to put this all in the meeting notes. So then they remember this. The bank remembers this. And when we talk in a couple of years with this potential client, we can go back and find it out. The problem, though, is that if it's sitting somewhere in meeting notes and it's not custom field, which you can run a report based on, and it's not a field based on which you can select your outreach clients, etc., then you are not able to do things like, oh, if I have a winery throwing in a very nice party and I want all of my privileged clients who do like wine to invite, but those who do not, I don't want to invite. You don't have a field in your CRM which says this guy likes wine or not, but you may have it in meeting notes. So this is the data which is already in your environment. That bank has it, supposedly, not for every client, but some of them are enriched by that data, but they still cannot use this. And they cannot force people to read all of the notes before sending the invite for the wine event, right?
But
A
the
very
AI
simple
can.
product. AI can help like this with seconds. Now, does it take the job of private banker? No. Does it make private banker more efficient? Hell yeah. So yeah, these are the examples which are very low hanging.
Yeah, and let's speak about who should initiate this AI agents implementation in daily workflow. For instance, in my case, I'm just traveling a lot, attending a lot of events and conferences, and of course, I'm just bringing a lot of technologies to my team and say, "Oh, try this, try this, try this." But I would never apply this technology if my team is not accepting it. So for instance, I'm just bringing the technologies to my sales team and say, okay, try this, initiate this, or something like that. But they're pretty much interested or not interested, it should be. But and when they're telling me this, we really need this. So just please ask for quota, ask for a budget or something like that. And only after that, I'm going to implement that because I'm sure that my sales team will use it on a daily routine, and
Okay.
I won't
Okay.
like waste my money, waste my budget.
Got it. Got it. Okay, I would flip the table here, honestly. And I would state it this way. I think everyone who is in the office or like doing the job should think to himself, first of all. And if you're a manager, then you have to think to himself and to your team. Uh, Challenge every task you do during the day. If you're doing that task one time, or you repeat it 2, 3 times, or you do it 5 times and more. And if it's 5 times and more, a similar task, then no doubts you should be looking for AI technology which will take it out of your table, out of your plate. Would it be writing the report? Would it be generating the quote? Would it be drafting the response? Depending on who you are and what your role is. Again, a very simple measure. Think about how repeatedly you are doing that task. And if it's repeatable, it's a subject for potential AI improvement. Now, who may have budget for this? What's the technology which can do this or not? That's another question. And here, what we can see on the market, there are different aspects or approaches. Some companies are literally forming a standalone unit within the company, which is responsible for AI automation. Just like back then, it was digital transformation officer. And these groups, they're like SWAT teams. They have permission to go through all of the workflows, to change sales, support, customer success, lead gen, attribution, everything. So that's one way of doing this, but then you have to allocate budget for those guys and give them authority, granted authority to do the changes. The other alternative, what we see is it's either sales leaders or rev ops or sales ops leaders, which are seeing the workflow and kind of dictating how the workflow is and can change the workflow. They are becoming a catalyst of changes, but that requires them to raise the hand from the daily tasks and try to kind of look strategically and maybe allocate their own time or maybe their team members' time to look for those tasks and try to automate. But that's the other ways of how people are doing this, how companies are doing that, and who may take a lead one way or the other.
Yeah, so my assumption is that top management should provide the policy, feel free to look for AI solution just at all levels, and then depending on the budget and just
Exactly.
to provide people some freedom with implementing and trying some
Yep.
AI solution.
If top management is not able to lead that revolution, they should let some people to try to make a disrupt. And disrupt, it's always granted authority to the change, to the disruptive change, to challenge what we have right now, if it really works or we could do it better. So yeah, I can only repeat myself. It's either top management who is in charge of it because they're a visionary, or they let a group of people or someone, depending on the size of a company, that granted authority to pretty much challenge all of the continuously repeatable tasks and try to automate.
Yeah. Sounds great. So just think about, just this is a good advice for all of us. Think about how what are repeatable tasks are you doing, like 1, 2, 3, 5 times per day, and just search, look for AI solution. It just obviously exists. And we have got a question from David. It's about he said that we use Salesforce and have meetings in MD Teams. Does Salesforce offer a kind of AI service you talk about, or it is off-the-shelf plugin? Should my company build it from scratch? So
Yeah.
just
So to my knowledge, Salesforce is not yet offering that in the way you explain. They enable vendors to implement that, and we are one of those. So we may have that functionality, and happy to take a look at that. That's why partners of Salesforce like us exist. What Salesforce also does, and it's kudos to them, they, by introducing Agentforce, they're technically giving you a platform where you can develop. And when I say develop, it's not traditional software development. It's much simpler than that. But then you can, using your own resource, to develop something custom for you and do not call to third-party vendors like us, like Revenue Grid, but just implement that. But out of the box, no, it's not yet part of a Salesforce platform, just because one vendor could not do it all. So that's why.
yes, thanks for your question, David. And let's jump to my favorite question, maybe the last but not the least. What are your favorite AI agents, and what AI agents do you recommend to use in sales and revenue growth, maybe for all types of companies?
Got it. Well, it's a tricky one because we are, as a vendor, we are providing those agents, and obviously we're using internally all of the agents we've built, and it's pipeline automation, forecast automation, meetings automation, and many of those which are listed on our website. So obviously we use those and we love those. If I would go beyond that, in my personal experience, I'm always using ChatGPT, but not just to talk to ChatGPT. I really ask ChatGPT to do things for me, to draft this job offering, to give me a summary on that client, to propose me what we could do here and there. And I do interact. I kind of learned myself how to prompt engineer ChatGPT based on my preferences. So it's one of my best tools. I like the copiloting experience, and obviously we all know Copilot from Microsoft, but there are more and more copilots are popping up here and there. Copilots, and by the way, we didn't really talk about that. I've mentioned in the beginning that I'm a big believer in autopilot, but Copilot experience, it's a low-hanging fruit. And I would encourage to use different copilots from different vendors which are introducing those. Just try it out yourself. Within a day, you'll understand if it's helpful for you or not. Typically, what Copilot does, it tries to help you to work with what tool does. Sometimes it really helps, sometimes it's just not helping, and you close it and forget about that. But yeah, typically those copilots can summarize the things for you, can search the things for you, you can interact with them to get the answers instead of asking someone. So I'm using the copilots really, really effectively. One thing which there are the whole cluster of vendors which are promising to do this, and we are trying some of the vendors ourselves. It's the lead generation agent, if you would. I'm not going to name vendors because there are really many of those, but simple Google search can help you with that. So I believe that that thing may be automated, and I do believe that it could be super valuable agent. The sense of the automated, some would call it automated SDR or AI-driven SDR. I would call it AI-driven lead gen. The idea is the following. Based on your leads, what you're having, and your opportunities and your ICP definition, AI tool is supposed to find those contacts in external for you world, find those contacts and try to engage with them. And once the person responds, then you are in real touch. If it works, knowing your ICP, knowing your processes, and if it works for you, that's a golden potential copilot or even autopilot or AI agent. Because what it does, if you think about that, it simply adds something into your pipeline. Your pipeline exists like it exists, and you work hard to improve it. But if such AI agent works, it's relatively free or inexpensive in addition to your pipeline just from the top. And there are many vendors which are trying to do this with the different type of a success. I wouldn't recommend one because they're very different by industry, by territory, by specifics. But I would encourage to look at this because it's a low-hanging fruit. And to finish my story, not necessarily our territory, but I've seen so many successful use cases. It's support and customer success. I do believe that the company which has a rich knowledge base and a good ticket tracking system internally must feed that to AI. So then AI can assist your internal salespeople. And if you see that that assistance is good enough and decent enough, you may even be brave and elevate your trust and expose this to external customers. Because those support agents would never skip a beat, would never be tired of responding stupid questions and things like this. So yeah, support scenario is really low-hanging fruit. And there are so many agents which are trying to combine your knowledge base, your ticketing, whatever you have, Jira or whatever task tracker you may have, digest it all and just provide the responses, co-piloting your support engineers or maybe directly to your customers.
And a personal question to you, as for
Uh-huh.
you, as for co-founder and C-level manager, what is your ideal AI agent? I don't know, to make your daily routine in professional life or in just daily life.
By the feature or by how it actions?
By feature, yeah, I guess like I don't know. Just imagine that you have an option to create your ideal AI agent. What should it do?
That's a very good question. Because if I would know, the next question to myself would be why I'm not building it already. Uh, whoa, that's okay. That's a very good one. I mean, I think we all want more revenue one way or the other. So to me, it would be the agent which would work like the best sales rep for me, which is hunter, rainmaker, and very creative one, and would find me the new leads, work with those leads, and bring them to the level when it's very warm in my pipeline, and we can go ahead and close those. That's the dream. Technically, a virtual sales rep. Now, if this is possible already, not yet. I do believe that human being should be in center of it. Many of those functions you can already give to agents, but that secret sauce, the smartness of human brain and creativity of a human brain is still there. So maybe it's just not completely feasible one way or the other. Because of that, I may probably rephrase. I would say that my dream agent is set of the agents which are working for us like modern kitchen does. There's a dishwashing machine. There is, I don't know, things which are helping me to cut vegetables and things like this. Back then, I was always doing it manually. Now it does it better than me, and I do trust those machines. So I want those agents which would be human-like, which would be understanding me and my specifics and learn how do I work and how do you work and kind of, be there. Be educatable, not when I educate them, but when we work together. So through doing things together, I'm asking question, agent does me something, and next time he does it smarter based on my questions and my answers and my coaching. So educatable and conversation able, where the agent tells me something, I want, just like with junior employees, I want to have an ability to ask a question, why do you think so? And get meaningful answer. Where did you, like how you decide that that's the right answer? Why do you think so? If you think twice, would you come up with a different answer? I do need that conversation ability with the agent. Otherwise, my level of trust goes down because I challenge the responses and I want to, be able to conversate. So then I start trusting the responses.
Yeah, sounds amazing. And we have already got some more questions from
Sure.
today's attendees. So again, a question from David. So you talked about AI estimating how long it will take to close an opportunity, and will it estimate based on the historical data? Are we sending our internal data to servers then? And how does the training of plugin work?
Yeah, not well, sending to the servers, etc. We're gonna dive into the whole security topic, and there are a lot of very good answers from security standpoint that your data is not being transferred anywhere, your data is not being taken to learn the LLMs or educate LLMs and train LLMs. So there is a good answers on the security layer of it, but on the principle how it works, the answer is yes. You have in your CRM, you already have a data. The data is historical. What do I mean by historical data? You have your opportunities, we would look not only at the opportunities, but also at conversations which were happening around those opportunities. That's why we need to add into the mix not only your CRM, but also your email server, Gmail or Exchange, maybe your channels in Slack and Teams if you are using those. So we can see the whole universe of conversations which were happening back then. And then we look at the average deal size, the products you sell, the ratio of discounts, how long the deal typically sits on that stage, and how do they transfer through the stages? How long does it take you to close the deal overall? What are the conversations aspects, meaning that do you typically do POC or not? Do you need InfoSec approval or not? Do you deal with procurement or it's high velocity business for you? AI can have all this from the data you already have. So it does not need a long onboarding or hard onboarding, but it needs access to the data, which can be crunched. And then on top of it, you can, I wouldn't say it's RAG, it's like talking language and jargon. It's not really RAG. It's more like prompt engineering, what's important for you.
Mhm.
So simple prompting may make the model way better tuned for your principles. And then it already starts to predict your pipeline and cleans this pipeline. And then there is this feedback feature, if you would, or interactive ability. Because if the system, if the agent tells that we do not believe this opportunity will be in this quarter or whatever, and you in disagreement with this, either as a manager or as a sales rep, and you explain why, then our agent would learn out of it, and next time will be better in predicting similar ops.
Yeah. So I guess we are like about out of time. And Jose, could you please specify what do you mean by artisan.co? But I know that you have prepared a bonus from you as well. So you just start first.
Sure. Well, the bonus is I'm going to share my screen with the QR code, and that's the QR code to go ahead and book a demo with us. And we do an offer of free use of our agents for 6 months if you guys are reaching out to us using that link. Let me share that first. So yeah, feel free to scan the QR code or jump on this link, book your demo with us. We're happy to dive you into details. And for all of the attendees of a webinar or those guys who will be listening to the recording, we are happy to provide 6 months of free use of AI agents. So you can fight your trust issue if you have those, but better, you'll see the value of AI agents from the very first day. I do believe in that. I really do believe in that.
Yeah, I really believe that trying is better, than to hesitate and not trying. So yeah, that is what
Exactly.
we're doing. So
Exactly.
please feel free to scan this QR code. We will maybe send to those ones who were present on our webinar. And maybe I will give some bonuses from Pitch Avatar as well for those one who are curious about creating their your personal AI avatars and trying how that works for your business. So we willing to give we are willing to give you 1 month for free of on business plan of our avatar and a free consultation. So feel free to scan the QR code as well, and then you will see a link in chat. And I guess that's it. We just made it in 59 minutes, like exactly. And thanks a lot, Vlad, for being with us today. Thanks for coming and sharing the hottest insights from the industry. And we will be happy to see you in our next meetings and our next webinars.
Thank you, Viktoriia. Thank you all. It was a pleasure to be with you. Thank you.
Thank you. Goodbye.
Bye.